It's time for the main fight pick of the evening.
Now it's time for the main fight pick of the evening. We got Deiveson Figueiredo, who's the minus 290 favorite coming into this fight, according to FanDuel, against Alex Perez, who's the obvious underdog, still a great fighter in his own right. Excited to talk about him. But first, let's talk about Deiveson. 19-1, 9 TKOs, 7 submissions, very well-rounded. This is his first title defense. He was booked against Cody Garbrandt for this fight, but they needed a replacement. Alex Perez came in. He's making that replacement. Deiveson's calling a first-round KO in this fight. He thinks it's going to be a quick finish. My thoughts on Deiveson is I have no idea how he makes 125. A matter of fact, he barely makes it. I know he couldn't make weight against Joseph Benavidez for their first fight. He's just, shredded physique, great striker, great timing. He looks like a monster in there. Great all-around game, great coaching. He's trying to get better, which it just blows my mind that you mentioned earlier that he's training his Muay Thai and wants to get his kicking and his striking better after he's already such a great striking artist in that ring. So that's going to be pretty incredible. I really like him coming in as a favorite in this fight. What do you think about Deiveson?
Yeah, I'm a huge Deiveson fan. He trained with the team for a little bit, so I got to kind of see some of his training, what he likes to do, what he doesn't like to do. But he worked hard when he was here with the team. Like you said, he's a really big flyweight, and I used to laugh every time, like, man, Chris, like, how do you make 135? And same thing how he makes 125. It's like, how do you make weight? Very carefully. Yeah. With some strategy, of course. It's all water manipulation. It's a lot of discipline and sacrifice. There's no easy way to make weight, especially when you're like really big for the weight class. Yeah, so to me, mastery is keeping an open mind and always trying to improve. Even though Figueiredo is at the highest level, he's trying to improve things that he thinks he needs to work on. So he's trying to master his craft. So I'm a huge fan of that that way of thinking, because as soon as you think you know everything and you have no room for improvement, this game's going to pass you up real quick. So I see his hand power is going to be a lot for Alex to handle. If one of those right hands sneak in there, it might be an early night for Alex.
Yeah, we'll see. And then on the other side, we got Alex Perez, who's 24-5, 5 TKOs, 7 subs. Has a heavy wrestling background, but he's still a solid striker. The one thing that worries me about him, great camp. He actually trains with Marlon Vera, which is great. Those two are great friends. Vera coming off the impressive win over Sean O'Malley. A lot of people try to take credit away from that. I know there's a lot of big Sean O'Malley fans, but Vera came in and earned that TKO finish. And so on Alex Perez's side, he's on a great win streak. He's won his last 11-12, only lost to Joseph Benavidez. And one thing I see is that he opens up and goes and exchanges with guys at certain times, and then he'll peel off and peel away. And if he exchanges, with Deiveson, I think he's going to be put to sleep, because he's not going to. The power that Deiveson's bringing at that flyweight division is just, it's kind of something we haven't seen before. I think the only guy that kind of matched that is a guy like Cody Garbrandt. That's why that fight is so exciting for the fans and for us to see. Nothing to take away from Alex Perez. I think he has a chance of sneaking in as the big underdog and stealing this fight. It's going to be a heck of a fight. I love this as the main event. Great way to book after Cody fell out. So, he's got to be careful. I know they're coming into the game plan to probably evade striking, work his takedowns, get him to the ground, do some ground and pound, or really feint on the outside and just work some heavy shots and not go in and exchanging back and forth with Figueiredo. So really exciting fight. What do you think about Alex Perez coming into this?
Dude's a stud. He's got 11 or 12 wins in his last 11 fights, and his only loss is to Joseph Benavidez, who's one of the best in the world. And people always talk about the MMA math, like, oh, he beat him, so you should be able to beat him. But that's not the way things work. So just because he lost to Joe B and Figueiredo beat Joe B, don't think that he's just gonna go in there and lay down for Figueiredo. He's gonna bring everything he's got, and that's not the way MMA math works out. So he's probably gonna bring a whole different set of skills, different movement, different patterns that Joe B brought. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the only chance he has is to mix it up from the outside, not to get into those big exchanges, to get caught with some of those big power shots, and to mix in the wrestling to try to tire out Figueiredo, try to tire out just a little bit. But that's going to be interesting to see as well, because I know Deiveson, I've watched a lot of his fights. Like, his wrestling is really good. His counter wrestling and counter jiu-jitsu is really good. He's going to be landing in submissions on the way down, and he's going to be threatening you the whole time. So can Alex push the pace and get the effective takedowns and actually keep Figueiredo down? That's going to be the question.
Yeah. Coming into a 5-round fight, so you could say, can he pull him into deep waters and get him tired and have him go through scramble after scramble and wrestling? Not necessarily does want to keep him on the ground and kind of evade those submissions from Deiveson, but Alex Perez can submit him on his own right. He's got 7 subs in his career, so that's a great stat. How do you see ultimately the fight playing out? Who's your pick to win it?
I'm gonna go with Figueiredo just because I think he's he can finish you from more areas than Alex can finish you. Even though Alex has submissions and he's got KOs and TKO finishes, I just think Deiveson is better in all areas.
Yeah. So you can officially say Deiveson by what?
I'm gonna go Deiveson by second round TKO.
Okay. I'm going to follow you there a little bit. I like Figueiredo in this fight too. I think it's going to be a great matchup. Like I said, this is a great main event. Kudos to the UFC for putting this together after Cody fell out. I think he's going to get the finish. I think it's going to come a little later. I'm going to call 3rd round TKO finish from Figueiredo. And that's my main fight pick. All right, guys. Thanks for watching Fight Picks with the Pros. I'm Garrett. This is Chris. We'll see you next time.
See ya.